Before we start the DLC, I thought it would be informative and fun to watch the E3 2012 reveal trailer for Lords of Shadow 2. This is also the attract mode that shows if you leave the press start to play menu leaving for a little while. Anyway, welcome to the story DLC Revelations. There's our boy Alucard. He also got a D on his book reports. Like father, like son, I guess.
No, stupid, it's upside down.
Alucard, you can't just read the novelization of that Tom Hanks movie and turn that in for your book report.
D. The D in my book stands for dyslexia.
So unfortunately, I had to delete my entire save file and restart from the beginning because I did a practice run and then I couldn't actually restart a new game. So I had to restart the entire game just to start.
Oh.
Sorry about that.
That's unfortunate.
Yep. Alucard does eventually have things to say at the book, but not at the start.
Did you enter the cheat code?
That's next video.
Then do it. This is the Crusader. If your heart is pierced by this weapon, you will fall into a deep sleep. It will not kill you, but you would lose all your powers and would not be able to resurrect until it is removed. I will be too weak. This is not the true death you desire. But Satan will think you dead. Centuries will pass, and his acolytes will start to prepare for his return. At the appropriate time, I will remove the sword. It's done. Father will awake in a few hours. It will not take long for Zobek to feel his presence and send his lieutenant. I am ready. Now it's your turn.
Son! You must come with me to the castle now.
What is it?
The castle senses the danger. It has ordered its servants to put the Void and Chaos relics out of your father's reach. Without those weapons, he will be trapped in the castle forever. You must restore the weapons to where your father can find them. I understand that he must make this journey of redemption of his own free will, but if we don't help him now, he is lost. We are all lost.
I understand, Mother. Take me to the castle.
You know, it must be weird for Richard Madden to play a character who knows who his mother is.
Ooh. Ooh.
Welcome to the DLC. So Alucard, he plays mostly, like in terms of controls, he plays mostly the same as Gabriel, but he does have several distinct features about him. For one thing, he could bat teleport, which gets rid of a lot of the climbing.
That's handy.
There is a bit of a condition to it. You have to be, you can't be hanging like this. You can't use the bat cloud. But as long as you're standing on something, you can use it. Also, these are the power-ups. There are no pain boxes. Instead, because the DLC is rather short, you get secret boxes instead, which are just a full upgrade on their own.
Oh. Well, I appreciate the streamlining.
There's not enough content in this game to justify pain boxes. So the Crusaegrim, at least at the start, it's not quite as powerful as its Symphony of the Night equivalent. Basically, the way I see it is that Alucard is like the Jetstream Sam to Gabriel's Raiden. He hits slower but harder.
Wait, does that mean Alucard's gameplay involves a lot of taunting?
Unfortunately, no, but it does involve charge attacks that are high risk, high reward. So there's that.
Yeah, but we're only like 25% of the way there if we don't have taunts.
Yeah, that's true. I am very disappointed that there's no taunting. Then again, Alucard's not really the kind of guy to taunt his enemies. He doesn't have the swagger. He does have a lot of other cool things, though. And his combat is pretty different. It doesn't feel anywhere near as group-focused as Gabriel's does.
Is the encounter design crafted accordingly, or?
Well, there aren't that many new enemies, but the combat design is, you know, kind of crafted relative to that, I guess. Indignant Arnold is not a fan of the level design, it seems.
I can't even tell a damp stain on the tower from Dracula himself.
Maybe that damp stain is Dracula.
You know, maybe if there's a mod of this game where Alucard gets to taunt, maybe I'll actually pick up this game again.
I can defeat you by myself.
I also like how you can kind of see the heavy Brotherhood warrior there sort of stepped on the air for a bit there. So there are new enemies, old enemies with new attacks. That hug that the Brotherhood warrior does there, I believe that's new. Or at the very least, it wasn't used with as much frequency in Gabriel's campaign.
You seem to be eating shit here.
Yeah. Against the Brotherhood, or against the early Brotherhood warriors in the early game, Alucard does not do well. Alucard's gameplay becomes much more interesting and fun once you get some more upgrades.
Already making good use of that parry mechanic, though.
Yeah, the parry mechanic has been tweaked so that you can parry multiple enemies in a row more easily.
That seems kind of like a necessity, given how much they're kind of just ganging up on you there.
Yeah, I believe the AI has also been tweaked as well so that they gang up on you more. Again, I can't really confirm for sure, but it seems like they attack in groups more often.
That sounds pretty counterintuitive to like how Platinum designs their AI, where like generally only one enemy is gonna go at you at once.
Yeah, it seems more like a Ninja Gaiden thing. Anyway, Alucard also has the somersault, which is very useful. And there's also the vengeful cut. Get this early if you're playing this. This is a practically a necessity.
All right, we're getting there, or back towards Symphony of the Night's greatness.
Yeah, lots of the early moves involve hitting multiple times per swing. The relic system is pretty much unchanged from the main game.
All the same relics, all the same skills.
Yep.
Access to that $2 DLC with the relics?
Yep.
Okay.
I will not be getting 100% for this DLC. I just by the point I recorded this, or by the time I recorded this, I just was too sick of the game. Even though I was enjoying the main story, I didn't have the heart to or the energy to finish all the collectibles.
I mean, you've been at this for like a year at least.
It will be almost exactly a year by the time the last video goes up. Yes.
Yeah, that's not even counting like the pre-production time for any of these.
Yeah, I think I started back in November of 2019. Yeah.
You played Mirror of Fate like twice for this?
No, I played it once.
Oh,
anyway,
okay.
This is Timeless Vision. So I've mentioned in previous videos that the DLC has a lot of what seems like cut content in it. Though Timeless Vision is the only one that's actually been confirmed by the developers to be cut content that is repurposed for the DLC. Alright, so here is a move that is definitely not repurposed cut content, because it would make no sense. We got ourselves the wolf form from Symphony of the Night.
This is not how I remember the wolf form.
Although there is a catch in that Alucard's body gets left behind when you're in your direwolf form.
I don't remember Symphony of the Night Alucard astral projecting into a wolf, but
Well, it's close enough, I guess. Or, I guess, warging. I'm gonna try to make as many Game of Thrones jokes as I can remember. Which will probably like stop about here, but oh, whatever.
is there any meaningful difference between like the distance astral projection wolf can jump at versus like the bat teleport?
The bat teleport is determined by what you would normally be able to grab onto in climbing mechanics. Like you'll see here in a minute. It's only what you're able to grab onto as like a grabbing point.
Right, but I feel like you should be able to just bat teleport your way across like a small gap too.
No, you can't. It's only on climbing ledges.
That seems like a really weird limitation.
Yeah, it's basically just a way of essentially... oh, by the way, we go over here.
Ooh, sneaky.
Yep, those are the hunchbacks from Mirror of Fate, and if you do that, you get an achievement called Not Again.
I don't like the name of that because that assumes the player has played Mirror of Fate.
That's a joke for like the 5 people who played Mirror of Fate and also Lords of Shadow 2.
And in those numbers, 3 of them are us.
So this was tricky because you have to remember that Alucard's body is vulnerable while you're in wolf form. Because if you just keep going as the wolf, you'll get hit.
Oh, that's actually kind of clever. You know what? The astral projection, I think is fine now, just for that one puzzle.
All right, so for some reason they decide to introduce the idea of a diary here, even though we already picked one up earlier. I don't know. This is a hint about the puzzle coming up, which is pretty annoying. And it's annoying on purpose, sort of. You will see that later with another piece of, or another diary that comes up later.
I love how these are letters home that don't make it home.
Yeah, the Castlevania City Postal Service is, they're just completely incompetent.
Are these marionettes bleeding? Why is all the furniture bleeding too?
I mean, my guess is that it's the boyfriend blood.
Oh no!
There's a surprising amount of grunts coming from Richard Madden.
Gotta make the most of his studio time.
Yeah, also pointing this out earlier, this is really the only time we see Alucard using the Chrysagram in Lords of Shadow universe. He used the Masamune in the finale because he was still kind of using his getup when he was in disguise as the lieutenant, even after he unmasked.
Right, and then Mirror of Fate, he was using a whip of some
Well, in
kind,
Mirror
I
of
think.
Fate, he was using the Vampire Killer.
Yeah.
Or no, not the Vampire Killer. He was using a combat cross. He was using a combat cross. That because Gandolfi just made like 5 or 6 backups apparently. It just sort of retcons the uniqueness of Gabriel's combat cross that was so important in the first game.
I mean, after Gabriel turned to Dracula, you figure, well, I should probably make a couple more, so we have a chance of standing up to Gabriel if he goes really bad on us.
Or perhaps the Brotherhood deluded themselves into thinking that Gabriel was just like one bad apple. We could take care of anyone else. Not our problem.
Many multiple combat crosses makes for a better story, though, even with the plot hole.
I really like the idea that I still like that it was Trevor. It was Trevor's callback cross that was called the Dark Pain in Mirror of Fate. So this is a weird little puzzle if you haven't already figured it out. The door on the other side is timed. So we have to hit a switch and then run all the way around to the other side. That door that we just came across there. And also this bit of rubble over here is hiding another secret box.
Oh, I didn't realize your past vision thing there had a time limit.
Yes, it actually has a context-sensitive time limit that changes depending on the puzzle, which is really dumb.
That's very weird, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that. I think it goes up to 45 seconds, if I remember correctly, is the longest it gets. It's not very well thought out. Anyway, we're supposed to run to the end, but then I remembered that there are some dishonored vampires here. You don't really see them that much in this DLC. Figured I might as well fight them. They have the same blood properties as before, in that once they've been killed, they retreat back into blood status, and then you have to kill them again. But with Alucard's moveset, they're really fun to fight. What a drama queen Alucard is with these finishers.
Aegis thirsty.
Somehow this game looks even closer to a platinum game with the DLC.
Yeah, Alucard's moveset is a lot closer to your typical platinum protagonist than Gabriel's was.
I mean, I appreciate that you get a couple of upgrades in, and Alucard seems like he perks right up. You know, it looks impressive, even just with the few that you have.
Anyway, I think this was like my third or fourth attempt at getting through here. This is also another optional puzzle for the toy maker, who is still alive. Actually, no, he never died. We just got rid of the boyfriend blood.
Survive until the song is over.
And if you listen closely, this is the same song from Baba Yaga's music box.
Oh.
Which is a music box rendition of Vampire Killer from Castlevania 1.
That's cute and all, but they, like you said, they used this already.
They weren't going to make an entirely new song just for one puzzle that never shows up again.
I mean, that's probably a good use of resources, but come on, it's Alucard. You could have at least pulled from Castlevania 3.
Okay, so there has been a specific piece of lore that I've been hyping up for a long time. Here it is. After we charge up our magic. This is a specific reference, not merely to Castlevania 2, but to Angry Sir Rolf. That is James Rolfe, the angry video game nerd. This is a reference to his first ever video review, which was of Castlevania 2, back in 2004. He is complaining about the previous puzzle and says that he would rather have a situation where he would have to kneel and get swept away by a tornado, which of course is a reference to an infamous part of Castlevania 2 that he complained about in his own review of Castlevania 2. All the way back in 2004. This has been 16 years bordering on 17, depending on when this video was published, of Angry Video Game Nerd. This is back when he was known as the Angry Nintendo Nerd.
That's not enough to make it so cryptic and hidden that we can't figure it out. Oh, please give us more for our buck and make it harder so we can wander around the whole game and exhaust every possibility before we find out. Okay, guess what? You need to have a red crystal selected and be kneeling down and wait a little while before this magic tornado comes and takes you to the next part of the game.
I apologize in advance for the clipping I just did to my audio file, by the way.
It was worth it.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. I have been waiting almost literally years for your reaction to that.
It's not just Castlevania lore, it's the best Castlevania lore. It's nerd lore.
Which means that Justin the guitar guy is canon in the Lords of Shadow universe.
If you went up to one of those corpses and you just pressed A,
do we find him hiding behind a couch is what I want to know.
Probably. I'd like to think so. And I definitely remember, not only that, but I also remember like the weird, oh, by the way, that's what happens when you get hits in Spectral Wolf form. Specifically, the one thing I remember is that there was the feud that Doug Walker tried to start with James, and it was clear in hindsight that James was a fan of Doug's work, but he had no interest in having their characters feuding at all. But Doug just kept pushing and pushing, and then James was like, okay, fine, whatever. We'll have the Nostalgia Critic and the Angry Video Game Nerd fighting.
Yeah, James Rolfe, just in general, seems like a pretty chill guy. And, like, all of the weird feuds around him, like, fucking Nostalgia Critic or Irate Gamer, like...
Oh, God, the Irate Gamer. I haven't heard that name in ages.
It all feels like everyone else is trying to like stir shit up, and he just wants to make his dumb video game reviews.
Yep. He has outlasted everyone who has tried to imitate him.
Yeah, I don't even think he's doing anything special. He's just trying to be.
Oh, right. There's a game going on. I forgot.
Oh yeah.
So this is a dungeon jailer. He works the same. He's a little stronger, and you have to collect 3 keys. Dungeon jailers are not that difficult to fight as Alucard, but surprisingly, dungeon minions, for whatever reason, are really not difficult, but just annoying to fight as Alucard, more so than Gabriel.
They seem to not have any like stun locking going on, like
yeah,
they just kind of
unless you're using the Glacium blade. I should point that out, that the Ignis and Glacium blades, they work similar to how Light and Shadow Magic did in the first game, where it was just blue whip and orange whip, or in this case blue sword and orange sword. So this is a 2-part puzzle. First we turn this key, that lowers the elevator down.
Okay.
However, the elevator is out of power. We have to turn on the elevator somehow. Are there any elevator girly bags that we could give it?
Hot raising and lowering action.
Or we could show it that scene with from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory with the elevator that moves in any direction it wants.
Please, this game's already rated M.
Anyway, this puzzle is easier than I'm making it look. We just have to hit this switch. It's a very easy timed puzzle. We have to go over there in Spectral Wolf form and sneak inside. Also worth pointing out that the enemies don't know you're there.
Well, yeah, you're just an astral projection.
Yeah, and it's kind of fun to troll them.
Do they notice you as soon as you materialize, or?
Yes.
even if you're behind them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's dead aggro.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna aggro inside his junk, yeah, I think he noticed that.
I believe that double banging attack that he does with the hammer, I think that's new. I don't know for sure. Like, the most of the changes that they've made to the combat are really small tweaks. There is one new enemy, and there are a couple of smaller new enemies that are reskins with new properties. But there is one brand new enemy who you could probably guess who it is given the context of the story. But aside from that, there are some other reskins who are kind of interesting, I guess. They weren't very fun to fight at the time, but looking back on it, they were, interesting in concept. Did you really have to do that, Alucard? I mean, I know you're immortal, but you would at least experience the pain of tetanus from licking your blade.
You have that animation. Just tweak it a little bit. You could turn that into a taunt.
Anyway, this is Storm of Cuts. It is a very, very good move. And it can be easily canceled in two.
So is there an upgrade that just turns this kind of the whirly blades just on permanently as soon as you press the attack button?
Oh, that would have been so cool if you could give him summoned swords, but no.
Ah, damn.
Okay, so here is another puzzle. We have a solid wall here. This is going to raise the elevator. It's going to raise as soon as we release this key. So what do?
Oh.
By the way, I tested it. Jumping as the wolf is faster.
Oh. Huh.
I was going to put music in this elevator, but I thought it would distract from the excellent "No Wolves Allowed" sign. I thought that was an amazing little detail. By the way, if you fall from this upper platform here, or this upper level, I should say, you have to do the entire elevator puzzle again.
Ew.
This includes if you're backtracking through this area later on for secrets and collectibles.
Ew. At least make a shortcut or something that you can just activate once you get up here.
Yeah, this is basically like a significantly worse version of that one elevator puzzle from Victory Plaza, if you remember that.
The hell, that landing looked perfect to just have a ladder you could kick down.
I know! It's awful.
Oh, you have to do the whole puzzle again for this, huh?
No. In this
Oh,
one,
good.
we're still at the top. It's if you fall down, you have to do it again.
Did you fall?
No.
Okay.
At least I don't think I did. And if I did, I cut it out.
That's somehow worse than the elevator building in the city.
Is at least when you still had to redo that puzzle, but it was a much shorter puzzle, and it was just like a timing thing. You just had to run up the elevator as fast as you could. There's also apparently a secret box in that section up there with the balloons. I couldn't get to it. Like I said, I did not bother getting, everything in the DLC. I thought about it, but I could not be bothered.
They're getting a lot of mileage out of the astral projection wolf. I think that's pretty neat, actually.
One could say it is a spirit animal.
But
Anyway, that's Storm of Cuts. It's really good, especially when combined with Glacium. The blue sword, orange sword thing makes a lot more sense with Alucard, I think. Rather than, obviously it's DLC. They weren't going to give him 3 weapons, when they didn't have much time there to work on it. Plus, I think while his moveset is pretty limited, I still think it's good enough. And I still think it's pretty fun. And of course, Stolas' cloak is just as broken as ever. Although I think they seem to have nerfed it a little bit, that if you're using it with Glacium or Igneous, that it has less of an effect.
So not only do the dungeon minions seem to have some ridiculous super armor, they also have regular armor to just bounce your attacks right off, huh?
Well, they didn't actually change anything about the dungeon minions. It's just how the hurt box of the Crusaegrim works. And it just does not interact very well with the minions.
Oh, I see.
He's just gonna leave drained minions all over the castle.
I know, Gru will be very disappointed. That voice, by the way, is the toy maker. He never actually physically shows up in this DLC, but he does have his voice a couple times. God damn it! I forgot about this. Oh, wait. Never mind. I dropped down there for the keys. What was I thinking? I was thinking, why would I drop down to do the elevator puzzle again? It's because I had to do the keys.
You're just a really big fan of elevator action. You just can't get enough of just riding up and down. Okay, yeah, they're all just hiding behind tables. None of them are guitar guy. Carry on.
Yeah, this is not an especially impressive ambush. Like, come on, even some of the fights in Mirror of Fate were scarier than this.
Did someone release a stink bomb or something?
Yeah, that's a gas bomb that the minions have used before. Not very often in Gabriel's campaign, but they were there.
Okay, I can't say I remember the stink bombs.
Yeah, there we go. That's more Crusaegrim-like. So this is one of the new-ish enemies. I don't know his exact name. Yeah, he's basically just a reskinned dungeon jailer who uses a void sword instead of a hammer.
Interesting. Does that mean he heals when he hits you, or?
No. It just means he has a regenerating shield.
Okay.
Which can only be, the front of it can only be broken with the Glacium sword. It also means that if you run out of Glacium magic early, this fight can take a very long time, which is why I've cut out a significant portion of it. Yep, he still does the thing where he throws a minion. That seems like a new attack, but I think it might just be a recycling of an old one. I don't remember for sure.
Oh, here we go.
I think he missed the minion he was trying to kick at you and just kicked you.
Okay, so that is a new attack that he will eventually, after you attack him for enough, he'll disengage and regenerate his shield. There's nothing you can do about that. That's one of those disengage attacks I've talked about with bosses before.
I don't know why I thought the new attack was him like making one of the minions pop and like just releasing all of his fumes.
I think that was a minion who did that attack. That was the gas bomb, yeah.
No, like I get that. It's just the when you said that, I thought the dungeon jailer also had a new gas bomb attack.
Oh.
Mother, I have the sword.
I guess we should also address that Marie apparently has the power of the Yamato to teleport anywhere she needs. That's also something that comes up.
You know, I was really wondering about that.
Yeah, I guess we should address the elephant in the room that we haven't really talked about, which is that the castle isn't merely a memory of Dracula's. It's more than that. It's more than a memory, but less than a physical place, because Alucard is clearly able to walk around in it. And he's obviously able to take others in. I mean, Dracula was able to take others into it. He did that with Nurgle. It's never explicitly explained exactly what the castle is.
I got it. It's like Tom Riddle's diary.
Yes, actually, that's a really good metaphor. I didn't think of that.
I'm going to go ahead and pretend I understood that reference.
That makes sense. Okay, so it makes sense. Yeah, the demonic possession, that makes sense. The ability to recreate memories. The getting stronger through death or near death. Yeah, I guess it does make sense. You know, Voldemort was behind everything.